Hey there, brilliant people. So today we're going to take a deep dive into the intuitive language of smell. This is the olfactory intuitive language. Now, remember that your intuition is your way of talking to yourself. It's like any language, we need to be able to derive meaning and be able to interpret what is being communicated accurately. And regardless of what language our intuition uses, this is just the same. When our intuition is speaking to us, it's not just about picking up the energy, picking up the information. We need to be able to accurately interpret it. So when our intuitive language is smell, how do we do that? Well, some of the general meanings of smells can be very obvious. So if we smell something that's really nasty, so if we smell something that smells like it might be a little bit rotten, or it's a bit sulfurous, or it's just, it smells bad, that in itself tends to indicate that it probably is something negative, it's something incomplete, it's something toxic. Similarly, when we smell something positive, whether it's something delightfully floral or just reminds us of beautiful flowers, like gardenias as a favorite of mine, or it's something like the smell of the beach or anything that it smells really uplifting to us. Well, then the thing is, obviously, as a general meaning, that probably means something positive. It probably means completion. It probably means something connected with well-being. So general meanings like that are really easy because we understand that positive things are positive, negative things are generally negative. So however, it's the specific meanings. It's the specific meanings, just like it is with words. Like if you can't understand the specific meaning of each word that I'm using, you might get a general sense of what's going on, but it's really hard to act on that. When we actually have a more specific meaning, then we can act on it. So the problem there is just like with any intuition, we need to learn to interpret the way that our system is talking to us. So there's a couple of ways that we can actually begin to train ourselves to do this. Now, with these exercises, you want to do them a few times, maybe, leave at least a week apart, and you want to do them, write all your answers down, put it aside, don't look at it, and then maybe a week later do it again. Do that a few times, don't look at any of your past answers, and then at the end, you want to get them all out and compare your results. Now let me explain what I mean. So the first exercise is you think about, you go and smell something, or you at least focus on that smell. So it could be strawberries. So what do strawberries remind you of? Like when you smell strawberries, does that make you think of family? Does that make you think of romance? Does that make you think of, picking strawberries? I mean, think about focus on the smell of strawberries and just notice what pops into your mind when you smell strawberries. Do this with a few different smells. So do this with, you can do this with food, strawberries, chocolate, but also things more like carrots. So do it with a variety of things and not just food. Do it with smells of the environment, like the beach versus being in the garden versus being at the office. Like focus on different smells, and then write down what it is that the smell was, and then write down next to it what it is that came to mind. Now, the idea with this exercise is that you just do that, write down the first thing that comes to your mind, and then you put it aside. And as I said, then a week later, you want to do it with the same list of smells, do it again. And then another week later, do it again. You want to do it at least 3 or 4 times, but then at the end, get out your different lists and compare. Like, are the same things coming up time after time? Because that means that particular smell has that particular meaning for you. Now, that's one way to do it. So the other way to do this exercise is to reverse it. And for a lot of people, this is actually a more useful way to do it, to go about it. So what do I mean by reverse it? I mean, find a list of different things that you might want to pick up with your intuition. So a good place to start is a list of emotions. So focus on the emotion, and then just see what smell kind of pops into your mind. Well, I mean, I'm saying your mind, but of course I suppose it's into your nose. So for example, if you focus on the emotion of fear, what smell pops into your mind? Is it the smell of rotted apples? Is it the smell of wet gumboots? I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is, but just make a note of it. Then if you focus on like anger, does that smell like hot rubber or metal? Like whatever it is, just write that down. Again, does courage smell like chicken soup? I mean, what do these things smell like? Does love smell like sunshine? It really doesn't matter if other people get the same smells. What is important is what smell do you get when you focus on these different emotions. So once again, you write down, work off the same list of emotions, do it, 1 week, put the list aside, don't look at it again, do it the next week, put it aside. And once you've done it 3 or 4 times, then get all the lists out and compare them. Now, if you're always getting the same smell coming to mind with when you focus on the same emotion, you can be pretty sure that if your intuition gives you that smell, that's what it's trying to communicate, is that particular emotion. So there you are. It takes practice like any language, but that is one way that you can start to develop, a really important way that you can start to develop your olfactory intuition. And whether that is your primary intuition, it can help you learn to interpret it more reliably and specifically. And if it's not your primary intuition, you can do these things to expand your intuition so that you can start to work with your intuition through more of your senses, have more intuitive languages, if you like. So do that. Good luck. If you have any questions about it, leave it in the comments below. And as always, remember that you're brilliant.